Hello, I'm Alex, and you're watching The Palm Off, a programme where I take in a week's worth of shit and I regurgitate it, just for you. Stuff like this. We go for a swift one with Clegg. I get pissed off with famous people. New York police connect with the locals. And a teenager gets his black bull rocks off. You know, I do actually avoid throwing too much political guff into the Palm Off, but I just keep coming across such stories that beg a total belief. So what drink do you imagine all the peers enjoy drinking in the House of Commons bar? We regularly see PR footage of them sinking pints of ale in struggling pubs. Or if you're Farage, you're drinking several pints out of an insanely big brandy glass. But oh no, that local pint of Strangletoe won't hit the spot when you've had the good day pulling the wool over the country's eyes over the deficit. And the need to celebrate winning the war on benefits. Wankers. Anyway, it's champagne that they're knocking back now on the taxpayer. Not the cheap stuff either. Tattinger, Lenoble, Camel Valley Brut. Back in 2010, they necked over 4,000 bottles of the stuff. That's pretty considerable. But no, since the coalition, they've now polished over 8,000 bottles of the stuff. Given they're not in the Commons at weekends, that's about 30 times those bottles are popped. No point in holding back. What an absolute shower of fucking wankers. So much for us all being in this together. It's been pissing me off for a while now, and I've got to get it off my chest.
But first, let me take a selfie.
What the fuck is it with selfies currently? Yeah, they've been around as long as picture phones have been, but people really are taking the piss. We've seen them at the Oscars, in space, at Mandela's memorial with that slippery tit Cameron and Barack Samsung Obama. The Pope's been at it, Kim Kardashian, as well as every other fucking plastic celebrity. Someone's even done some bollocks dance track about the trend. And to top these pictures off, everyone dips them in that horseshit program Instagram to further beef up their egotism. People, please learn to cut this shit out. Rant over. So, the New York Police Department dropped a rather significant bollock this week. In an attempt to boost its public image, they invited Twitter users to tweet pictures of themselves with officers using the hashtag #MyNYPD. What could possibly go wrong? Expecting a stream of lovely photos of hugs and handshakes for all to see, they instead got a flood of NYPD mistreating the public and brutality pictures. There's some absolute crackers. People getting manhandled, run over, whacked, and getting punched. This one has to be my favourite. They did try to retweet the happy photos in order to save face, but they were too far swamped to prevent this absolute PR disaster. Lovely stuff. Here's a bit of TV gold. It's from the series 999 Watch Your Emergency, giving an eye into what happens when people call upon their services.
Police emergency. We're just sitting on the South Pier at Blackpool.
Right.
And under there's about 7 boys and 1 girl. The girl and the boy in the red top have just had sex under the pier here. Then she's given him a blowjob.
PC Mike Ellis, the closest available cop, makes straight for the pier in search of a youth in a red top.
Where are they going? Come here! I'm not telling you to stop. You stop. Do you understand?
Oh, yeah, I got my phone case, please.
I don't care. I do not care.
With the runaway juveniles detained, PC Ellis turns to the female.
Boss, take a DNA test, boss.
Will I? Excellent. What do you do for a living, sir?
Let me just talk. Hey?
What do you do for a living, sir?
Demolition.
Demolition. Are you employed at the moment?
No.
No, all right. I'll tell you what. I won't come round your house tomorrow morning and tell you how to watch Jeremy Kyle. Don't start telling me how to do my job.
You've got to hate it when coppers try to be funny.
If I need to take DNA, I'll take it. Please, will you and Danny go and stand down there while I talk to this lady?
Stand up. Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
I'm just stating the facts, that's all.
It's just stating the facts, that's all.
Right. We're going to find out what's gone on. We've got 2 males detained at the moment.
Oh, what has this lad done?
We've spoken to the witnesses. They say it looks like you were willingly giving oral sex. Just listen to me. I'm telling you what witnesses are saying. You were willingly given oral sex.
How does that go through someone's mind? It's a wino, sat on the floor, no teeth.
Which I think you were doing for money.
That's pretty niche.
Well, I'm not bothered anyway. Well, let them go then. And let
No,
me
we're not
go.
letting them go. But if you're just trying to cover your backside because you were soliciting for sex, there's no need. Were you having sex with them for money? Is that what this comes down to, Lisa?
Yeah.
Right, thank you. So how much were you paid for this sexual act?
£5. Broke a £5.
A fiver.
You were sucking people off for a £5.
Fucking Colombo.
Right.
She got you. Fucking Colombo.
Well, I haven't got a glass eye, so I ain't Columbo.
Oral sex from a woman, and I think they had full penetrative sex with her as well, for the princely sum of £5.
Oh my God, not again.
I said it is, it's a holiday resort. People bring their children here. She said it's not a holiday resort, it's a shithole. At which point I was just like, well, some members of the public don't agree and they have brought their children here on holiday, and they most certainly didn't want to see your toothless mouth around his, yeah.
So the Blackpool Tourist Board will be loving that. When I was a kid, if I had a fiver, I'd have been straight down that arcade. How things have changed. Kids these days are just more interested in trying to find something interesting to post on Facebook. I just got sucked off by a gummy wino. You only live once. This is a very delicate subject, one I would normally steer well clear of. But it's been bothering me so much, I've got to say something. The N-word. Now, I believe my palm off viewers to be some of the cleverest people around, and would agree that it's an appalling word and would never dream of using it. It has no place in society, but it does have a big history. So, a piece of footage that was filmed for television, but didn't get shown on television, found its way to the Daily Mirror. Clearly a slow news day because they ran with it splattered all over their front page. The footage was of Top Gear presenter Jeremy Clarkson choosing between two sports cars using the children's rhyme Eeny Meeny Miny Mo. He did repeat it in full, but chose to heavily mumble out the offensive N-word parts that it unfortunately includes. The Mirror spoke of needing audio forensic experts to study the inaudible mumblings, which to me absolutely smacks of desperation, and a bit rich on their part considering they faked those Iraqi torture photos for a story not that long ago. So now, a large part of the media have all rallied against Clarkson, suggesting he's clearly a big racist and should therefore be sacked. Now, before I carry on, I'm going to say this. I like Jeremy Clarkson, and I don't believe he's racist. His colleague James May put it perfectly by suggesting he's just a monumental bellend. Clarkson has a big history of being politically incorrect. He says things that are provocative, that get a reaction. That's what he does. That's what makes him popular. But such language needs to be seen in context. Ex-football manager and pundit Ron Atkinson called a player a fucking lazy N-word. That is racism. Clarkson attempting to mumble out the dated words from a children's rhyme. I don't think that is. He wasn't directing at anyone. The context was a monumental bellend choosing a car. The BBC Radio Devon DJ David Lowe accidentally playing a 1930s version of The Sun Has Got His Hat On, which surprisingly includes the N-word, is worlds away from actual racism. He didn't know, but it didn't stop everyone from panicking and immediately giving him the boot. Thankfully, I believe that common sense prevailed and he was given his job back. Now that's just it, common sense. I'm certainly not advocating its use, but surely when an element of history echoes this powerful word, I wish the media would consider this with a bit of context in future. Did you know that the Dam Busters film is rarely played in full because of the dog? Anyway, I can't see why Clarkson didn't use my old favourite. Ip dip dog shit, f***ing you are not it. Right, I really hope you enjoyed my hot air this week. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you'd share this video. Thank you for watching.
Fucking Colombo.
Right.